Welcome to Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. I'm your host, Laurie Fagen. In this podcast series, I'll interview authors who will then read their mystery, suspense, or thriller short stories or a chapter from their published books. In addition, sprinkled throughout the coming weeks, the podcast will feature radio theater-style sections from the audiobooks for my 3 crime fiction novels. There will be prizes too, so stick around to the end to find out how to enter. We're back with another fun radio theater-style mystery. Here are the next few episodes from the audiobook of my second crime fiction novel, Dead Air, called L.N. Pane, P.I. Welcome to Behind the Mic Mysteries. I'm your host, Laurie Fagen, and author of 3 crime fiction novels in this series called Fade Out, Dead Air, and Bleeder. You've landed on the compilation of the radio theater-style mystery podcast from my audiobook for Dead Air called L.N. Pane, P.I. It's a noir-type story set in the 40s about a female private investigator who helps a client figure out who is trying to kill him. Enjoy L.N. Pane, P.I. Welcome back once again to Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. I'm Lauren Price. In the latest L.N. Pane, P.I. episode, our private eye travels back to the DePalma residence to find out what or who is making her client ill. This time I go in the afternoon to keep an eye on Mrs. DePalma. I watch her finish lunch, then she switches on a sleek floor model console radio and sits down to hear the Amos and Andy show, complete with cheesy laugh track. Nothing hinky going on there. Just as I'm about to fall asleep from boredom, she turns off the wireless, walks across the room, and comes out the side door once again. But this time, she's holding up 2 ends of her apron, apparently carrying something in the fabric. She ambles to the backyard and into the chicken coop. The feathered fowl come flying as she flings what I figure to be feed. I spend the better part of the next several days watching this supposed grifter, but the Jane does the same thing every day. Dishes, cleaning, roses, radio, chickens. I'm about to give up on what I think will be my last day not seeing nothing when a shiny 39 Caddy Fleetwood comes motoring down the street. I duck low in my seat till I recognize Mr. D at the wheel of the deep burgundy beauty. I wave at him to join me a block away. He's still looking mighty pale with dark circles under his eyes.
Any news?
I don't want to admit I'm about stumped. Have you been eating chicken this week?
Huh? Chicken?
I can see he's trying to think back to the feasts his Frau has been fixing for him.
No, mostly goulash, fish, and ground beef. We've had a lot of eggs this week as our hens just started laying them.
My ears perk up. Eggs, eh? Your wife eat them too?
No, she says they give her a rash.
That does it. Look, you gotta go in, keep your wife busy in the living room for a few minutes while I visit your hen house. Can you do that?
I'll try.
He drives back around and plods up the porch and through the front door. I followed my flivver a few minutes later, careful to stop a couple of houses down. Quietly, I sneak up the side of the house to the chicken coop with its foul smell of bird droppings. With my hanky, I scoop up a handful of the seeds Mrs. D scattered to the hungry hens. Along with the kernels and a little dirt, there's white powder mixed in. Does our private investigator finally have the goods on Mr. DePalma's wife? Stay tuned next time for another podcast of Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. Thanks for listening. This is Lauren Price. It appears the gentleman who fears for his life should also fear his wife. In L.N. Pane, P.I., she pleads with her client to leave his home before it's too late. "You gotta get out of your house, Mr. D." There's a pause at the other end of the telephone, but I can hear him breathing, wheezing, actually.
I'm not sure I can do that.
"At least stop eating anything with eggs. I think your wife is mixing arsenic with a feed she's giving your hens, and while it's not enough to kill them, it's probably in the eggs she's frying for you every morning. My dope peddler confirmed it was in the bird food." Another pause.
Oh, dear. So it's true.
"Afraid so, Mr. DePalma. Can't you say you're going on a business trip or something?
I don't travel with my work.
Visit a sickly aunt?
I don't have an aunt.
Come on, Mr. D, you gotta work with me here. We need to figure out a way you can give her the gate before it's too late."
But why is she doing this?
My heart, which is usually stone cold, goes out to him. Why does any skirt pull a grift? Usually it's for love or money. You sure she's not seeing anyone on the side?
No. She's home every night with me. Has she ever left the house while I'm at work?
Nah, she just hangs around all day long. What about life insurance?
We have a $3,000 policy on each other, but that's not very much.
So what do you two talk about at night? She mad at you for something? Jealous?
She has no reason to be suspicious of me, Miss Pane.
Then what, Mr. D? I'm about at the end of my rope to come up with anything else. Maybe you just need to report this to the police.
The police? No. That's just much too drastic.
Not if you want to save your life. Will Mr. DePalma find out why his wife is trying to kill him? Join us again for another Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. I'm Laurie Price. Thanks for listening. Episode 8 of the Mystery Theater podcast is mostly my voice, but Ron helps with sound effects. I cue the mysterious music, which fades up full and under, and I read into the mic. Welcome back to Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. I'm Laurie Price. Tonight on L.N. Pane, P.I., our private eye figures out the only way to find out why Mrs. DePalma is trying to kill her husband is from Mrs. DePalma herself. I lower my voice and take on the cadence of a 1940s private eye. I convinced Mr. DePalma I should have a little chat with his wife and put on the ruse of a door-to-door peddler selling a cleaning product that'd make any housewife's life easier. Imagine my surprise when she invites me right in, never having met me before. Ron and I each make the sound of a pair of women's footsteps walking on a wood floor. I continue reading. I look around the neat-as-a-pin house, all nice and orderly. I may not be the best housekeeper in the world, but even I recognize the fake evergreen smell of pine sol. "Well, ma'am, it looks like you may not need my product. Your house is beautiful." I sit on the comfy chair she gestures for me.
"Well, miss, housework is mostly what I do all day."
She paces to the window and looks out.
"Besides tending to my roses and feeding my chickens, I just clean."
I detect a note of sarcasm, frustration. "You here by yourself?"
"Oh, no, my husband comes home every night after work."
She sits on the edge of the sofa.
"He's not been well lately, so I get to fuss over him a little."
Her smile quickly fades.
"But it's almost like living alone."
She looks down at her hands, wringing them back and forth.
"Oh, I don't really mean that. My husband is a wonderful provider and—"
She stops, apparently not able to find any more praises for her hubby. But what's missing? I think I might be onto something.
"Oh, really, it's nothing. He eats dinner, then watches TV and goes to bed. Every night. Same thing. I guess I expected more."
More excitement? Travel? Gifts?
I would settle for an evening out once in a while, for dinner or to the cinema. even flowers now and then. But I'm sorry, I'm just being silly. What do I owe you for the cleaner?
The lonely housewife gives me a weak smile and reaches for her pocketbook. You know, the company's running a special this week. Every fifth house I visit gets a free bottle, and you're lucky number 5.
Oh no, I couldn't.
Mrs. D looks up with a pleasant surprise. I'm sure your husband will be glad to know you saved him a little money this week. I almost feel sorry for the lonesome sister. Maybe he'll notice the extra sparkle in the floor. I tap a key and the podcast music floats in. I read the script in my normal voice as Lauren Price. Is this just the case of a lonely housewife looking for more attention? Or is there something more sinister? Come back next time for another Murder in the Air Mystery Theater episode. I'm Lauren Price. Good night. The music ends with an ominous flourish. You up for another run? You've got Mr. DePalma's lines on this one. Sure, if you are. I smile at the older gent, oxygen tubes hanging askew around his neck, glasses perched on the edge of his nose. I'm lucky to have him as a friend. Is lonely Mrs. DePalma poisoning her husband just to pamper him? Or is she killing for a little attention? I can't believe I actually feel bad for a doll who's trying to kill her spouse. The lonely broad just can't take the monotony anymore. When I tell Mr. D he's got to step up his game in the romance department, he's quiet for a moment.
That's curious, Miss Pane.
He slumps down in the chair. Yeah? Why's that?
Because when we were first married, I used to do it all. Take her out, bring her roses, treat her, special.
So what happened?
She told me I didn't need to save the money, not be so extravagant.
You chump, you believed her? He looks up, startled.
Why wouldn't I?
'Cause she's a kitten and needs to be cuddled no matter what she says.
You think?
I think it's worth a try. Take her a huge bouquet of flowers and tell her you're going out tonight. I pause. But Mr. D, don't eat the eggs. Is Private Investigator Pane on the right track? Find out next time on Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. I'm Lauren Price. Thanks for joining us. It's another episode of Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. L.N. Pane, P.I., tells her client he needs to pamper his wife more, and he agrees to try it. I ain't too surprised when Mr. D comes back a week later, appearing more like his good-looking self. No more shuffling, no more dark circles. Well, you're a sight for sore eyes. I offer him a chair.
You were right, Miss Pane. I just needed to give her a little more, attention.
Well, nice to hear you're hitting on all 8. Glad to help.
I came to settle my bill. Will $1,000 take care of it?
He pulls out his checkbook. That'll do just fine. I take the slim piece of paper written out for a large one and again fold it into my brassiere. Have a nice life, Mr. D. After he scrams, I pour me a scotch, neat, sit back, put my feet up on the desk, and smugly think what a great service I've done. Made some dough at the same time. Most of my cases end up with one side satisfied, one side sore. This one didn't end up in murder, but I know I like the occasional happy ending. What I didn't know was that in about a week's time, I'd feel like a sucker. Perhaps it's not just the tale of a forlorn and lonesome wife after all. Tune in next time to find out who is trying to kill whom when Murder in the Air Mystery Theater continues. I'm Lauren Price. Good night. The part of Mr. DePalma was portrayed by D.W. Thomas. The part of Mrs. DePalma was played by Julie Lee. And I read the part of narrator Lauren Price and L.N. Pane, P.I. Next time on Murder in the Air Mystery Theater, lucky number 13, we'll have author Dennis Palumbo here to read from his Daniel Rinaldi mystery thriller, Panic Attack. And on episode number 14, there will be more from the radio theater-style segment called L.N. Payne P.I. from my Dead Air crime fiction novel. If you are listening on the podcast platform of your choice, please subscribe and leave a review or provide us with some feedback. If you're on YouTube at Read Laurie Fagen, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and click on the bell to be notified when a new episode has been released. And for more freebies, check out our Patreon page at Murder in the Air Mystery Theater. Remember I mentioned prizes? At the end of each of these Murder in the Air podcasts, we'll have a drawing for a prize from those who follow Read Laurie Fagen on Facebook or Instagram, and in the comment, write murder to be entered in a drawing. We'll have drawings for free ebooks, chances to win your name in a novel, and other fun items. So go to Facebook or Instagram, follow Read Laurie Fagen, and write murder in the comment. For more information, you can visit readlauriefagen.com. Thanks so much for listening, and come back again for more Murder in the Air.